You know yourself. But you watch me, and I'm going to follow that instruction. I'm going to tilt only my head forward. It's all over. Did you see it? Do it again, you watch. Only my head forward. That's it. Now most people, what they did is something like that, or even something like that, or even some people went like that. Now that is not just your head. That is your head and your neck. So it means that when you have the concept head, it's including the concept of your neck. That's not necessarily a wrong thing or a bad thing. That doesn't signify that you're you're sicker than the other person. It's not necessarily anything to be too concerned about. But if you wanted to manage your pain, if you wanted to begin to understand what are the movements I'm making in my coordination which seem to be resulting in having pain, then it's very important that you know where your head actually is, and that you know what is the actual movement of your head, and that you know what is the actual movement of your spine. Because from the scientific perspective, if you cannot identify clearly what you're observing, you haven't got any hope of making a valid experiment. There has to be a certain agreement amongst us all, what is a head and what is a neck. And we're lucky because no one really argues about that anymore. People argue about other things, but everyone is pretty well in agreement that the head is the bony part, the skull, and the neck is the beginning of the vertebra. Yeah? Anyone want to argue with that? No. So here's the interesting thing. You do have intellectually the concept clearly, but experientially you're not acting upon it clearly. Can you see that? You say, yes, I know the distinction between my head and my spine. That's very clear to me intellectually. But in actual fact, operationally, you don't have a clear idea about that. So this is the beginning of the universal delusion. It's the beginning of why we have pain. Because we don't know what we're doing. Another lovely aphorism of Alexander, he said, you can't do what you don't know if you keep on doing what you do know. You can't do what you don't know if you keep on doing what you do know. What you do know, oh, that's my head going forward. I know that. This is the head going forward. What are you talking about? I know what that is. It's this. Well, you can't know anything else while you keep doing that.